The development of our recipe book is almost done. At least functionality-wise, we need no other major features. We should just run our application and see if there is anything we would like to optimize and polish. First, let's go through what we have done so far, so that we know what we have learned. We started our journey of developing a Vaadin application by setting up Eclipse, our development environment of choice, and learning about Vaadin components. When our setup was complete and we knew what the framework offers, we went through defining requirements for our application. We then proceeded to dividing our application into smaller, manageable pieces, views. We learned the purpose of layouts and how to use the navigator. With the basic elements in place, we developed a backend for storing data. We went through the details of a Vaadin data model, and we have found a way of validating user input. Having done that, we went through the look and feel of our application. To be honest, this is something our application is still terrible at. It just looks horrible, but at least we have learned the ways of improving the looks of our software, through themes and style names. We then moved on to more advanced features of web application development. Most importantly, we learned how to store data between browser requests by using sessions. Also, we went through querying containers and advanced features of navigation, like passing parameters to views. Another part of our development process was centered around file uploading and other time-consuming operations. We went through principles of running background threads, and we learned how to enable server-initiated communication to the browser. The final lessons we had dealt with building and using custom components. Not only we found a way of extending the functionality that is already provided by the framework, but also how to build a completely new component with both the server and client-side code. Lastly, we integrated an add-on from the Vaadin directory. Which brings us to the point where our recipe book is done from the functional point of view. We have some shortcomings and missing bits and pieces, but the majority of the code is up and running. Let's see what can be improved, apart from the obvious theme and styling. The most important thing on the food screen, table with comments, could be styled differently. We need less properties there, and we definitely want to show the user's name or email rather than entity ID. The former can be tweaked by just passing the list of visible columns to the table. The latter requires a custom column generator. Both are simple to implement, so fixing those shortcomings will not be a problem. Let's move on to registration view. Those nulls here are a bit scary. Fortunately, text fields have a property called null representation. By default, it is a literal null, but we can change it to be an empty string. Of course, a better solution in most of the cases is to get rid of nulls, that is, initialize the object with correct values like empty strings. While looking at the code, we will also see that a new item is added to the container every time we open a form. We can fix it by delaying the addition of a new item to the moment when the registration button is clicked. In the settings view, which is accessible only when the registered user is using our application, the button for showing recipes does not work. Solution is simple. Navigate to the search view with proper parameters. Navigation itself could also use some fine-tuning. Currently, in every view, we explicitly have to navigate to somewhere else. Instead, let's move navigation to a separate service which we can then call. Lastly, search results table could use some reworking. It has the same problems as the comments table in the food view. There is too many columns and the author name is not displayed. Also, the table is not clickable, meaning it is impossible to see the recipe we are interested in. Lastly, when the search form is empty, no results are found. Whew, that's a long list of bugs, and those are only the ones we have noticed on our first run. Fortunately, they are not that severe, and fixing them should be very easy. After all, we have developed quite an application with Vaadin, and during that process we have learned more than it is needed to address those issues. Our development journey ends here. I hope you have enjoyed the ride and learned how to develop web applications with Vaadin. The next videos will show you some extras the framework has to offer. But those extras are just an addition to a solid base of knowledge we, hopefully, gained during the videos. Thank you for watching.